Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Columbina did of course just recently release, and of course I had to go ahead and pull her on both accounts, and luckily we did get her on both accounts. In fact, on my main account we got especially lucky, but we'll talk about that a little later. But of course, now that we have her on two accounts, we have to go ahead and test her out on both of them. On this account we have a C0R0 Columbina with a C0R0 Nefer, C0R0 Lauma, and we'll be randoming the team out with a Kuki Shinobu. So this is a very relatable free-to-play run on our more free-to-play account, and then we will also have we will be able to compare it to a very interesting Flins run. For a second I just couldn't find our Lauma there, and then our Kuki should be right here. And then I won't be showing off the second half, but this is the team we're going to be running on it. And we're also going to include a Nefer clear of the second half of the first chamber as well, so that we could compare that to the Flins run, and you'll see how crazy that gets. Because whereas this is all C0R0, we're going to have our C0R0 Flins here. This will be a C1 Columbina, this will be a C1 Ineffa, and this will be a C6 Sucrose. So we're going to be able to compare just how crazy these runs are now. Basically, we had some really insane luck on our Columbina summons. I won't spoil it. It's the previous video uploaded. You can go ahead and see that for yourself to not ruin the moment. But yeah, full character builds will be at the end for both accounts. But real quick, if you didn't pull Columbina or any other Genshin character, then I have the perfect thing for you, and that's today's sponsor, lootbar.gg. You can use Lootbar to top up on your favorite games like Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail and save up to 25% with special great value offers such as the 6,480 Genesis Crystals pack available for the first week of the new version, guaranteed character and rerun bundles, and the all-in-one bundle, which now applies on Xbox and PS5 as well. And with the release of the Miliasha Wonderland, you can also top up Chrono Nexus directly on Lootbar. And don't miss out on Lootbar's New Moon event between January 14th and 20th, where every spin is a guaranteed win. You can score massive discounts, free monthly cards, or even a guaranteed Columbina. All you need to do is log in and share daily for free spins, so head over to Lootbar and claim your rewards. When I decided to buy one of my friends a Welcome Moon, all I had to do was enter in their UID and region, and I received the purchase in literally less than 10 seconds. Creators like DuckTV and Jello Impact are also collaborating with Lootbar, so they are trustworthy, and they also have thousands of positive reviews on Trustpilot. Also, new users can get 10% off, and returning users can get up to 8% off in the first week of the new version. So be sure to check out Lootbar with the link in the description. Back to the video. Alright then, and here we are on the first half of Chamber 1. Now remember, for only the second half of Chamber 1, we're also going to do a second Nefer clear. Then we can compare it a bit to the Flint stuff, although they're not exactly the same level of investment, as I already mentioned. So yeah, anyway, it seems we're doing about 50 to 60k on the first kick, and then about 70 to 80k on the second kick. This is whilst this, the PMA still has some of his resistances up. When he goes down, we should be dealing more. I'm not exactly sure how. Okay, yeah, that's about 85k on the second kick, and I think it was about 62k. So we're looking at about 140k with the PMA's resistances. Like I said, I don't remember what they are before they go down. It's been a while since I've looked at this kind of stuff. Without Lauma's buffs, we're dealing about 45k. Lauma's buffs aren't the longest lasting, so maybe I should actually put her in the final slot of the team, to be honest, although we'll have to wait and see. Maybe I'll go ahead and put Kuki third and then Lauma fourth, so that we can get a few more kicks off on our Nefer. I think that was 80k on the first kick and then 100k on the second kick, so yeah, pretty insane damage. Alright then, and here we are on the second half of Chamber 1 as well, just because, you know what, Nefer is pretty good in this chamber as well, and why not show off more C0R0 Columbina, because, you know, on the main account, we will have a few constellations, and, you know, I always prefer showcasing more relatable stuff, so I figured I might as well go ahead and give a bit more attention to the relatable stuff, which is why we also started with Nefer, and then I suppose it's also because she's mostly clearing the first half, whilst Flins is only clearing the second half. Anyway, let's go ahead and refresh all of our buffs here, and now let's pay a bit more attention to see just how much damage we're doing. 78 to 96k we're doing on the kicks, so that's actually quite a lot of damage there. That's about 170k per charge attack, essentially, whilst we have Lauma's buffs up. Like I said, goes down after our Lauma's buff, so yeah, I might need to move Lauma to the fourth slot, but we'll go ahead and see about that. Where is this big guy? There he is. Never mind. Okay, I hit the wrong person. Actually, I think that one still hit him. Perfect. And then we go ahead and proc our skill again, and there we go. That is a very nice and quick clear. But let's go back to the first half, and now onto the second chamber. Alright, and here we are on the second chamber. Just gonna go ahead and pick up the elemental. Actually, no, I think I'll go for the elemental skill buff. Okay, now we did, if you guys remember, we did greed slightly on the first chamber just because I wanted to check out the damage whilst the PMA was down. So we're just gonna go ahead and do a short rotation here with 3 charged attacks and our ult so that we can have enough time to get all of our bursts back. And now that we have it, we can go ahead and go crazy mode now. So let's see, we're dealing here, I think that was once again an 85k. That's a 74k there. I think we got 85 again. Anyway, this guy's shield should be decently easy to break. We have a lot of our elemental application, both on Columbina and Lauma and Kuki, is all based on their skill. Oh my god, Kuki actually revived herself there. That's where having C6 Kuki was useful, because otherwise I would have had to restart there. Anyway, let's go ahead and just do the same thing here. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and proc Columbina ult before this guy steals all of our energy. I would have loved to have procced Lauma's one as well so that we could do a bit more damage, but oh well. Now just go ahead and DPS once again, break this guy's weakness bar like so, perfect. And now we get all of our ult back as well. I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do is, also I want to heal up our Kuki a bit more so she doesn't die again. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use the ult on Lauma because we get so many dendro particles from Nefer as well, and she has 230 ER. We should be fine, but I don't feel the need to use Columbina ult. And there we go. That's the second chamber clear. Onto the third chamber. Alright then, and for the final part of the Nefer clears, let's go ahead and hop into the third chamber. Now these enemies can soak a decent amount of damage, which is a nice here. I just want to use that skill for a bit more dendro particles. Okay, can you guys please stop being annoying? There we go. Okay, so that's 46 into 62,000. We are hitting on these guys. I think they have some form of resistances, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe wait, did I just forget the ult there? I might have just forgotten the ult there. Let's go ahead and refresh our buffs just to see, double check our damage numbers here. And okay, that's 68 into 83,000. Okay, yeah, so 68 to 85k is how much our Nefer is dealing with a C0R0 Columbina and C0R0 Lauma, alongside Kuki on Deepwood Memory. So yeah, that's about 150k per charge attack essentially, which, you know what, pretty solid DPS numbers. We hit at probably about 3, maybe 4 of those, and then the other ones are unbuffed. So yeah, 68, 85, 68, 85, press E one more time, and then okay, 46 to 62. So yeah, let's say 150k for the first 3 and then 100k for the other 3. But yeah, that's it for our Nefer clears. Very happy with that. And now it's onto the Flins clears, which will be fun. Alright then, and here we are on the second half with our C0 Flins, C1 Columbina, and C1 Ineffa. I keep saying this, but if you guys didn't see the summons, go ahead and check those out. They were absolutely insane. Now, what I love about C1 Columbina here is that we're able to use our ult, and then even though we use our ult, we are easily able to continue using our mini bursts on Flins as well. So there we go. That is the first HP bar down. Let's just go ahead and refresh all of our stuff here as well. And now we can go ahead into a EQ, and then I think he's gonna die before we can even get off our second ult, even before we can get off our second E. So yeah, C1 Columbina and C1 Ineffa is quite the crazy combo on Flins. This definitely isn't relatable, but hey, since I already unlocked these by accident, I might as well show them off for fun. But yeah, onto the second chamber now. Alright, and here we are on the second chamber now. Oops, I actually didn't mean to EQ on our Columbina there. That's my mistake. Now, luckily, this guy does have a phase where we won't be able to attack him on the bright side. So I actually get to talk for a bit longer, because otherwise I don't really get to. Actually, never mind. We have nuked basically already half of his HP bar again. Let's see, E into a Q, and he has about 30% HP left. We're gonna have to yeah, so about having time to talk, I completely lied. This guy just got absolutely destroyed. Oh my god. The lunar damage as well as the C1 Columbina and the Nefer are doing absolute work right now. Alright then, and here we are on the final chamber. Now, let it be known, I actually managed to get this C1 Columbina and C1 Nefer like completely free to play. I think on this account I haven't swiped since February 2023, and the only reason why I did swipe back then was just because of FOMO. I thought that if I didn't pull DPS characters like Ganyu and stuff like that, then I wouldn't be able to, you know, compete in the game. You know, I swiped to get Zhongli, although I say swipe, I bought 3 Welcome Moons and 1 Battle Pass. And that's it. I haven't swiped anything since then. But yeah, my god, is this guy just dying incredibly quickly right now. Yeah, okay, yeah, like I said, I basically didn't have any time to talk. That is the most yap I was able to get. This Flins damage with a C1 Columbina and a C1 Ineffa, even without his SIG or his C1, is absolutely insane. But yeah, let's hop right into the character builds now. Alright, well, let's start off by showcasing the builds on our Nefer team. Now, when it comes to the performance of the Nefer team, I definitely find this team way more comfortable than the team of Aino I used to be running. With Aino, I used to run Nahida on prototype Amber so that we would have some form of healing, and then Aino for the Hydra application. Luckily now we can have our Columbina on prototype Amber, whilst also doing way more for the team than Aino ever would. And then, you know, Lauma's still on the team, but then we were also able to add on Kuki Shinobu, but because we took out Nahida, she is on the Deep Memory set to shred that danger resistance. But anyway, when it comes to our character builds for Nefer, it's free crit rate, plus 10 from Lauma, plus 5 from the artifact set. This becomes 100 free crit rate, 211 crit damage. This is nearly 250 CV. It would be awesome if we could hit it. We have a bit of ER, kind of a wasted stat here, but we also have 858 EM without any buffs as well. Like I said, we have some decently insane pieces here as well. A lot of crit rate rolls, in case you guys didn't notice that at first. If only this circle was a bit better, then we could have a 250 CV Nefer, and that would be kind of insane. Constellation C0, and then 188 talents, level 80, not fully ascended yet, unfortunately. Columbina, also not fully ascended, still need to gather more flowers, but I can't be asked begging people in co-op for that. Prototype Amber are free, and then we do have her on the Silken Moon set because I haven't been able to farm the brand new artifact set yet. These aren't ideal pieces, but they're just good enough. C0 with 266 talents because I don't have any weekly boss materials yet either, and I need to farm a few more slimes, which I can't be asked doing. And that's the crit ratio as well. For our Lauma, we have over 1000 EM, over 230 ER. Crit stats on her don't really matter. She is R5 on the event catalyst, and then also on the Silken Moon set. Like I said, I would probably rather have Columbina on her new personal DPS set, or personal sub DPS set, but oh well. C0 with 110 talents. For our Kuki, her stats don't really matter here if we're being entirely honest, so yeah, the only thing that matters here is the fact that she's on Deepwood, so she will be reducing Danger Shred by 30% with just her skill hits, which, you know, works out pretty well for us. You know, she won't really be triggering Hyper Blooms in this team. Yeah, level 9 skill just for a bit of healing. But real quick before the outro, let's go ahead and hop quickly into the Flins build. Alright then, and here we are on the Flint side now, where our Flins himself, 71 crit, so this is basically 101 in battle, 227 crit damage. And then he is also on the Primordial Jade Wing Spear as well, which we got from the standard banner. And then also his piece is pretty solid, not as good as Nefer. I think he's more in the 230 CV range, whereas she is nearly 250 CV. So yeah, Nefer definitely, we got a bit luckier on the artifacts on that account. He is C0 himself, sadly, about 1910 talents. And then our Columbina, like I said, if you didn't see the wishes, you should go ahead and watch those, because I promise you they are some of the most insane pulls you will see. 60 crit, 165 crit damage, 237 ER. We have her on Fav because I was using Neuvillette on the first half, so I had to give him prototype Amber. So we won't be showing off that Neuvillette Movika double DPS team, but oh well. She is also on the Silken Moon set. I think I'll actually keep her on the Silken Moon set and then probably put Ineffa on the sub DPS set, although we'll wait and see, I'm not sure, but yeah. Without spoiling anything, we do have Columbina's C1, and then her talents once again 266, because once again need to farm slimes as well as the daily drops. And then for our Ineffa, over 2k attack, 168 ER, 72 to 125 crit rate to crit damage, R5 level 80 Missive Wind Spear. Artifacts, once again Silken Moon set, like I said, maybe gonna put her on the new artifact set, we'll have to go ahead and see. Still, Constellations C1, like I said, pulls were pretty insane, might want to go check it out, all I'm gonna say. And then 199 talents as well, and then luckily we do have the 2000 attack, which is needed to max out her C1, at least I believe that should max it out, if my math is correct. But yeah, that's it for our character builds. Let me know how you found this the best, let me know how you're finding Columbina so far. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time, see ya.